In this video, I'm going to be going over some tips that I have for those of us who are new to 2K, or perhaps this might be your first time taking your talents online to the rec center. And jumping right into the list, we have tip number 1, make a small forward. Yep, you heard it right. If this is your first time running rec or you're fairly new, one of the best pieces of advice that I can give you is to make your first build at the small forward position. Now follow me on this, just follow me. The reason why I'm saying to make it at the small forward is simple. The point guard is arguably the most important position out there. Arguably, but probably is the most important position. They have a lot on their shoulders, scoring, passing, and then finding a balance between the two. And on top of that, you're gonna have to guard somebody who is way, way better than you at those said tasks. So while you're just getting your feet wet in the rec center, the best thing to do is to stay far, far away from the point guard position. Likewise, you don't want to make a center because after the point guard, the center is the most important position on the court. And when it comes to defense, especially when reckoning with randoms, they are the anchor and they have to grab big boards. Again, that's a lot of responsibility for someone who's new to the game, new to the rec center, so stay away from the center position right now. And then you don't want to make your build at the shooting guard or power forward position because the matchmaking system can be funny at times and they'll line you up at the point or center respectively. So with all that said, the perfect position for someone who is just starting out at playing the rec online has to be small forward. With it, you're able to get a taste of both the inside game and the perimeter play. So if you do decide to make a second build down the line, you kind of have an idea as to what direction it is that you want to go in. The next tip on the list is going to be to get your ish together. And by ish, I mean your overall, before stepping foot through those rec center doors. Pretty much what I'm saying is, do not go out there with a fresh 60 overall. It's a waste of your time. Trust me. You're most definitely gonna quit before the end of the game, and it's probably gonna happen somewhere in the first quarter, first few seconds possibly into the game. And if you don't quit, you're gonna be a straight up liability. Either way, once you quit, your build is gonna be a liability to your teammates, so they're gonna have to quit out. But I digress. Save yourself the time. Instead of wasting the time with that 60 overall in the rec center, go play my career, get your build up. And by no means am I saying that you have to max out your play. You do not have to be 99 before taking him online. But in my opinion, you are definitely gonna, at the very least, want to get up your main defensive stats. So if you're a big interior defense, maybe a rebounder, if you're a perimeter player, get up your steals and perimeter defense. And at the least, get your 3-point shot maxed out so you can stretch the floor and make the other teams pay for helping or sagging off of you. And that's easy points right there for you. The next tip on the list is gonna be to do your homework before you even enter the actual game. What do I mean by this? You may be asking yourself. Well, what I'm trying to say is, while you're waiting on the game to load up, you're sitting in that rec center lobby, look at your potential teammates' stats. You can learn a lot about who you're gonna be playing with here. And you shouldn't waste this time getting a drink or running to the bathroom. You should be scouting. See what type of builds are on your team. Off rip, I can tell you, if you see a paint beast, there's a pretty good chance they cannot shoot. If you see 2 paint beasts, you better back out with the quickness. Likewise, if you see a small point guard that's averaging 20 plus points with 1 or 2 assists, you can almost guarantee that he's gonna be jacking up bugged out shots and 300 all day. And that's more than likely somebody that you're not gonna wanna run with. One point of note though, this is not a be all end all. These are just like guidelines. Sometimes you might run a game with someone who has suspect numbers. The numbers do lie from time to time. But from my experience, maybe 7 out of 10 times, what you get is what you get. And then a second point of emphasis on this tip is that it's completely okay to back out or dashboard at this stage. If from doing your homework you see or assume that it's gonna be a long game, please, please, please do not set yourself up. It's quicker to dashboard and reload than to play a whole rec game or half of a rec game with a suspect team and end up quitting anyway. Moving on to the next tip on the list, and this one I actually just learned about recently, and that's the starter rec. Did you know that in the rec there's an overall wall? Now I don't know the exact algorithm as to how it works, but it would seem that if your overall is under a 92, you will more than likely get matched up against an easier team that's also made up of players under 92 overall. Now as a newer player, this is where you're gonna wanna be, at least for the first couple of weeks online, or until you feel comfortable. Now, point of emphasis for this tip, I just wanna again hash the fact that this is not a cut and dry thing. There will be games where you will be matched up with players over 92 overall, but the majority of games will be against those people underneath. Just make sure you don't put your overall up until you're ready. And then a second point of note, just because you're playing in the 92 and under rec does not mean that everyone there, mainly your opponents we're talking about, are new to the game. There are countless folks out there looking to exploit newbies and take advantage of the fact that they don't know all the mechanics of the game. Don't believe me? Just check the looking for a group section on Xbox. You'll see countless posts looking for people to play rec and asking that your overall be under a 92. If you ever wondered why, well now you know. And then the last tip on the list is gonna be to guard your man. Again, you're new to the game and you're trying to get the intricacies of the rec center together. So don't start off by picking up bad habits or trying to help off of your mans. Trust me, there's gonna be times when your eyes light up because you're gonna see a guy driving an open lane and you're gonna wanna haul ass to get there and send that ball to the heavens. But just know that he probably knows that and he's just waiting for you to fully commit so that he can dot that pass to your mans and then he scores a 3-point on you instead of the 2 that you should have let up. Also, try to refrain from picking up your man's full court or even half court. But right now, while you're learning the game, getting it down, just try to set up around the 3-point line. If it appears that your man's a shooter, then try to start maybe a step or 2 past the 3-point line. If he's giving off impressions that he's not a shooter, then maybe start off a step or 2 inside the 3-point line and adjust as you go throughout the game. But most importantly, just playing your mans is gonna go a super long way in helping you to get this game, because your teammates, if they see that you're not playing defense or that your man is scoring, they're gonna start to just ISO you out, and you don't want that. And then as a bonus tip, I just wanted to throw this in there just to have fun. I mean, we spent $60, $70 on just the game itself, not to mention the $100 that we spend on each and every build. There's gonna be people out there, there's trolls. The community is a microcosm of life itself. Just as you have trolls in real life, you're gonna have them in the game, but don't let that get you down. Find a community of peoples out there who's just trying to have a good time and rock out. And with that said, y'all, lucky out. Peace.